All right, folks, welcome back to another budget gem or budget bust. And today I have got an amp that I am excited to test out and unbox here. We've got the Wolfram O-5000.1, which when these were on pre-sale, I think they were $299, and they promised over 5,000 watts RMS at 1 ohm. And if they hit that number, that's a pretty sick bargain there. I think the regular MSRP on these now is, I think, $399. If you can find one. It's the thing with Wolfram, they always seem to be sold out. I'll take a little bit of credit for that, thank you, for the dynos on those. But you know what? They've always been a great product at a great price, so I can see why they're doing well and why they're always sold out. They should probably order more, though. Just a few more to get some in stock. But this one's been requested ever since they announced it, and I'm excited. These should do its numbers plus because they are based on the same series of amplifiers that the Sundown SFB 5000 has, which I think they're all stem back to like an original Sound Digital design. And we all know Sound Digital amps are pretty darn good. So I can't wait to try out this full bridge Wolfram. So let's dive into it. Let's unbox this bad boy and see what comes in the box. Okay, opening her up. All right, first thing we got here, owner's manual, which is really the owner's pamphlet. Just quickly things and how to set it up. For those of you that are going to be confused, you would only use one RCA input on this. Let's see, specs. O-5000.1 at 1 ohm, 5,000 watts, 2 ohms, 3,300 watts, and 4 ohms, 1,850. So we're going to try it on the amp dyno and see how accurate those are. Get, let's say, a cable to go with the remote bass knob. So unlike some of the Brazilian amps that only give you a clip indicating remote with actually no bass level on here, we have a power and clip light on this pretty nice looking remote here. The car's got the RJ45 connector, so it'll hold nice and snug. And we have got one Wolfram O-5000.1. Da-da-da-da. Very nice looking amp. It's got the brushed aluminum look to it. Wolfram logo right there. Pretty nice little standout in the crowd for sure. Not your plain Jane black amplifier like some others put out there. So pretty nice looking. Alright, let's check out the sides. Okay, along this side of the amplifier we find our power and ground and remote connections, as well as one of our fans right here. Of course, these are dual inputs, which is pretty rare for a Brazilian style amplifier in the 5K range to have dual 1-aught inputs. So it's a very nice thing to see on this amplifier right from the get-go. The one thing you should be aware when hooking this amplifier up is that these are inverted. So it goes ground, remote, power, power, remote, ground. Unlike, I should explain here that unlike the power and ground, you do not need to hook up both remote inputs. You only need to put in one of them to get the amplifier running. You don't need to hook 2 remote lines in. Just the one will be enough. Okay, along this side of the amplifier we find our RCA input and output, our settings, our input for our remote bass knob, our power clip and protect lights, and our speaker output terminal. Speaker output terminal here accepts all the way up to 8 gauge, and of course you can see there no lower of an impedance than 1 ohm on the speaker. Power clip and protect lights right there. Of course the remote. Our settings here, you have a high level crossover. This is what you would want to use for trying to set this amplifier up good luck trying to dial it in. I personally would use a DSP with one of these amplifiers, or at least have a deck that will let me to set the crossover. Because you can do here, your subsonic filter, quote unquote, which is here, which is really your high pass crossover, goes from 15 hertz to 80 hertz. So really you could use that as a subsonic. Your low pass though goes from 50 hertz all the way up to 20 kilohertz. So you're not going to be able to dial that in. I tried my best here. You have your gain, minimum to max. I believe these are adjustable from 0.2 volts to 6 volts. And here's your bass boost as well as your frequency. I always leave bass boost off, so I've got it set to 0 dBs. For those of you who are wondering, this is not a dual RCA input, right, left, which you normally see coming out of a head unit. This is a single subwoofer in from an RCA, and this is a single RCA output for your subwoofer. If you are using your head unit that has a subwoofer output, all you would do is you would connect one of the RCAs into here. You don't have to connect them both, just one. Do not put two of the output RCAs from your head unit and connect one here and one here. That's a good way of damaging something. Just do the one. And when you do that, your subwoofer output on your deck will be a mono signal. It's not going to be in stereo, so you don't have to do a Y connector from, like, two outs into one in. You just have to do, as I said here, just plug in one of them. If you've only got a single RCA output deck, most of those decks will allow you to do a subwoofer output for that. Make sure you go into the settings of your head unit and switch it to subwoofer, and then only one RCA cable to the amp. Okay, checking out the guts here. Very nice. Typical full bridge, aka Brazilian style amplifier layout. These are of course full range, as we've already mentioned. If you really want to dive into what makes the difference between a half bridge amplifier, which is your typical Class Ds and sub amplifiers, and the Brazilian style, also known as full bridge, which has been around a lot longer than like the Brazilian amplifiers. I'm sure there's plenty of videos on YouTube that can go in depth on it. We're just focusing in here on what does the build layout look like. For those of you that are not familiar, these are based on the design from Sound Digital, which then companies like Sundown are buying out of China, and Wolfram as well. So I'm going to try to show a picture here of the Sundown, and you can see very, very similar style. The only thing that's different is the transformers here at the front are a little bit of a different look versus the Sundown. Otherwise, same layout here. They're the same caps. These are 160 volt, 2200 microfarad, 105 degree rail main caps right there. Different filtering caps here. Everything is seated down, really nice. Nothing's moving around, nothing's wiggling, which is what you really want here. I don't see any cold soldering here along the MOSFETs, so that's good. Very nicely done, and at a super, super cheap price point as well. Again, like I said, I mean, I think these are $3.99 regular priced, and I think you can get them on pre-sale now, way less. Okay, nothing left to do here but to strap up the Wolfram O-5000.1D up to the old trusty amp dyno and see just how much power this little amplifier actually has in it. Okay, folks, final thoughts here on the Wolfram O-5000.1. As you saw by the dyno, this thing is just a beast with a capital B. I mean, to get that much wattage, I think it was 56 or 5700 watts certified, and to get that under 14.4 for voltage, man, this thing is just a tank. I mean, that is just an extreme level of power for the very budget-friendly price of, I think it's $399 MSRP, and it's like $299 on pre-sale when they have pre-sales. I mean, to get that much for this little amount of money, insane value. One of my favorite budget gem amps ever was the original Wolfram C2400. And I thought at the time, no way anyone's coming back with something that will beat that amp for that kind of money. And here we are 2 years later, and we're looking at an amp right now that just does double plus what that one was for less money. I mean, remember I said, hey, if you could get two Wolfram C2400s and strap them together, you could have 5,000 plus watts at under $400. Well, now you don't have to get two of those for under $400 to get over 5,000 watts. Hell, you get near 6,000 watts for the price of less than two of those original C2400 pre-sales. That's insane. Absolutely insane. So again, great job to Wolfram. They've made the budget gem list again. And for those of you out there, if you're looking for an amp in this price range that puts out that power, I can't think of a better one right now than the O-5000. That's it for me, folks. I got a lot more amps to test. I'll see you next time.